Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. Because of what we are seeing in the news lately about Jeffrey Epstein, I feel a duty as a parent to make a video like this. Not to spread fear, not to turn every adult into a suspect, but pretending this doesn't happen is how it keeps happening. Predators don't usually arrive with violence first. They arrive with access first. They arrive with charm, with favours, with attention, with opportunity. And the people who get hurt are often the ones who didn't even know they were being led into danger. So tonight, I want to give you a clear, grounded guide. I want you to be able to spot the pattern, spot the pressure, and step in early. And I want young people listening to feel something stronger than fear. I want them to feel equipped. Here's the simplest idea for you to hold in your mind. Don't hunt for a look, hunt for a sequence. Because what we're talking about here is grooming. Grooming is when someone builds a relationship with a child to gain trust, create secrecy, and then use that trust for sexual abuse or exploitation. It can happen online or in person, and it can be done by a stranger or by someone the child already knows. That someone the child already knows part matters. It matters a lot. The Office for National Statistics reports that the majority of adults who experienced child sexual abuse said they knew the perpetrator. So if your protection plan is only stranger danger, it's incomplete. The real safety plan is this: watch behaviour, watch access, watch secrecy, and watch sudden change. So let's talk about how to identify a sexual predator by the behaviour pattern. A predator is often someone who tries to create special access to your child. They find reasons to be one-to-one. Lifts home, private tutoring, a mentoring relationship, extra time after practice, sleepovers, trips, a job, a chance to be seen. It sounds helpful, and that's why it works. They create special status. They make the child feel chosen. You're mature for your age. You are different. You're the only one who understands me. That is not innocent flattery. That's a hook. It separates the child from normal boundaries. Then comes the testing. A boundary is pushed, but in a small way. A joke, a personal question, a private message late at night. A small rule broken together, a secret. The predator watches what happens next. If the child does not push back, the predator steps closer. And then almost always, secrecy enters the room. This is one of the clearest red flags you will ever get. Don't tell your parents. They wouldn't understand. This is just between us. If you tell, you will get in trouble. This is why grooming is so damaging. It doesn't only target the child, it targets the child's connection to safe adults. Often gifts and favours will come next. Money, food, alcohol, a new phone or new clothes, credit, a game, a ride, a place to stay. Anything that makes a child feel indebted or attached or quietly owned. And then isolation. Not always physical isolation. Sometimes it's emotional isolation. The predator nudges the child away from friends, away from routine, away from honest adults. Or they'll try to weaken the parent-child bond by planting ideas like your mum's overprotective, or your dad is too controlling, or they don't get you. That is not love. That's coercive control. Now, the second part that I want you to understand clearly. This is really important, and here's the truth. You can't safely profile this by appearance, background, religion, or social class. That's a trap. What you can profile is access and leverage. Predators tend to place themselves where trust already exists, where rules are relaxed, and where nobody wants to be awkward. They seek proximity to children, and they seek environments where people assume it can't happen here. And in the modern world, there's also another doorway: private messaging. Online contact allows secrecy at scale, and it allows a predator to test many targets quickly. So parents, don't only ask who's physically near my child, ask who has private access to my child's attention. Now let's get practical, because this is where parents can spot predators. A safe adult welcomes transparency. A dangerous adult will resent it. So if an adult is offended by normal safeguarding, that's information. If they insist on private messages, if they insist on one-to-one time, if they give gifts in secret, if they push against your house rules, if they talk about your child in a way that feels too intimate, too personal, too possessive, listen to that feeling. Your discomfort is not rudeness. Your discomfort is data. Now, how do you recognise changes in your child? This part's delicate. A change does not automatically mean abuse. Children change for many reasons, but a sudden change does mean something is happening inside them. Something is shifted. So watch for the pattern. Watch for secrecy that arrives overnight. A phone clutched tightly, screens angled away, new accounts, new contacts that they won't explain. Watch for mood changes that don't match the situation. Anxiety, anger, shutdown, fear around certain places or people. Watch for unexplained gifts or money and vague stories that don't add up. Watch for a child becoming unusually compliant or unusually withdrawn, or suddenly desperate not to cause trouble. And if you see that shift, don't respond with interrogation, respond with a door. You sit them down and you say calmly, I've noticed you've not seemed like yourself. I'm not here to punish you. I'm here to protect you. If anything has happened, you can tell me. That sentence matters because shame is one of the strongest locks predators use. Now let me give you advice and steps as a parent in a way that you can actually use. First, make your home disclosure safe. Your child needs to know in advance, not after the crisis, that telling the truth will not cost them any love. That is the foundation. Second, ask better questions. Not, has anybody abused you? Because many children will freeze. Ask, has anybody asked you to keep a secret that's made you feel weird? Ask, has anybody tried to move your chats to an app where messages disappear? Ask, has anyone asked you for pictures or videos or made the conversation sexual? Ask, has anybody made you feel pressured even if you can't explain why? Third, if your child tells you something, stay calm. Your calm is their safety. If you explode, they might retreat. If you panic, they might shut down. If you go into rage, they may blame themselves for your pain. Stay steady, then act. Fourth, if it's online, don't conduct your own investigation. Don't message the suspected person. Don't threaten them. Don't negotiate. Preserve evidence. Make sure you take screenshots, note usernames, dates, platforms. Then report to the right place. In the UK, if you're worried about online grooming or online sexual abuse, report to COEP. They are specifically set up for this and they guide families through what happens next. If you believe a child is in immediate danger, you call the emergency services. And if abuse has happened, support matters fast. The NHS explains that sexual assaults referral centres, they are there and they offer practical, medical and emotional support for people who have been raped, sexually assaulted or abused. You do not have to carry this alone. You do not have to guess your way through it. Now I want to speak directly to any young people listening because you deserve clear steps too. Here's the truth. A predator may start by making you feel special, not scared. So watch for these signs. If somebody wants secrecy, that's a warning. If somebody wants private chats that you feel you must hide, that is a warning. If somebody pushes a conversation sexually, that is a warning. If somebody asks for photos, that's a warning. If somebody says, don't tell your parents, that is a warning. If somebody uses guilt, like after all I've done for you, that's a warning. If somebody uses fear, like you will get in trouble, that is a warning. And if any of that is happening, here is what you do. You trust the discomfort. You do not talk yourself out of it. You take a screenshot, you record the evidence, you block and report on the platform, and you tell a safe adult. And if you feel like you can't tell your parents, tell an adult who will help you tell them. A teacher, a safeguarding lead, a relative, a friend's parent, someone with a duty of care. Because I want you to hear this clearly. If an adult has put you under pressure, that is not your shame. That's their wrongdoing. If somebody's image is and is trying to threaten you, that is not your fault. That's them committing a crime. You are not in trouble for being targeted. You are not in trouble for being manipulated. You deserve help. Now let me close with a reason why I'm saying all of this. Cases like Epstein reminds us of a brutal reality. Predators can hide behind status, wealth, charm, networks, and silence. So our protection can't be denial. Our protection is clarity. We watch for secrecy. We watch for access. We watch for isolation. We watch for sudden changes. We do not ignore that uneasy feeling. And we teach our children a sentence that breaks that spell. You can tell me anything. You will not be in trouble. I will help you. That is not paranoia. That's parenting. That's how you keep a child connected to safety, even when somebody else is trying to pull them into the dark. If this helps you, and if you think it could help another, just share it. Let's protect our children. As parents, that's our duty, our job. You take care, you stay blessed. This is the way. Namaste.